Hey, brewery or small business owner. At the Beer Accountant, they understand the unique financial challenges of the craft brewing industry. Are you tired of navigating complex brewery accounting and taxes on your own? Staying up late working on financials and getting your finances in order after a whole workday? They're a CPA dedicated to helping breweries like yours thrive, with services ranging from qualified bookkeeping, business tax prep, to strategic financial planning. Stop wasting time on spreadsheets and focus on what you do best: making great beer and running a small business, servicing over 50 breweries in 4 states. So if you own a brewery or small business, stop overpaying for reactive support and start being proactive with the Beer Accountant. Don't brew that IPA without this CPA. Visit beeraccountant.com to learn how their specialized expertise can help your brewery grow, profit, and succeed.
Are you a brewer looking to open, grow, or plan your next move? I'm Ted Zeller, liquor law attorney at Norris McLaughlin. I've spent my career working with breweries, helping them navigate the regulations that come with this industry at the municipal, county, state, and federal levels. From first permits to expansion into new markets, my team serves as legal counsel on licensing, compliance, and distribution. If you're ready to plan your next move or need legal guidance, I am here to help. Feel free to call me at 484-765-2220 or email me at tzeller@norris-law.com.
Yeah, have you been to Philly before?
No, this is the first time in Philly, man.
What, like from an out of country perspective, is like, what is Philly like thought of almost? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh man, I think I have such a narrow view of it, like distorted by the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and the intro soundtrack, like. But it's that and cheesesteaks.
But that's what I want to. That's what I want to hear. I'm so curious. It's like,
yeah.
What is that projected from like outside of here almost?
But the thing is with the state, I can only talk from my own perspective, so I'm not touring the whole of the UK. But it's.
Welcome back to the BrewedAt podcast. This is our first CBC episode, bright and early, 10 a.m. So CBC 2026 in Philly. Here with Evan Blum.
Every time. Hey, everybody.
As always. And today we brought the energy this morning to start. Tim Weaver, aka the Brand Weaver from over the pond. Welcome. So we met you last night at Love City.
We did briefly, but it was beautiful. It was emotional.
Yes. You got in what? Like you said you landed 2 hours before that?
Yeah, so what was it? Love City doors were at 5. I think I landed at 3:30. Had a nightmare getting into my hotel, and then it's just I got to get out, I got to get a beer and get on it. And that's what happened. And now here I am, sprightly, 10 a.m., ready to chat to you guys.
So we'll talk all about, the Brand Weaver. We'll talk all about like UK beers, UK craft beer scene. But I will say, you said before you were following your crew around, and it was funny. When we were leaving Love City, we saw you guys walking towards Yards.
Yep.
That's like the British brewery in Philadelphia.
Oh,
yeah. Like
typical.
Yeah.
You just know we were drawn to it. There's a magnetism there.
Yes.
Yeah, the guys were like, yeah, we're doing here. I didn't realize I'm there this evening as well for another.
Oh, you're going to be there?
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah, I've been there as well.
Oh, wicked. Yeah, amazing place. Because you guys are it's massive over here.
Yeah.
Like our little brewery tap room spaces where you're lucky if you can get like 6 or 7.
Well, you went to the 2 biggest spots in Philly, like Love City and Love City and Yards. Like Yards is obviously enormous, but Love City is then the next biggest one, like within the city.
Oh, so I was kind of like hyped up, just thinking I'm just going to be walking into massive breweries.
No.
Fair.
Yeah, most of the other ones are kind of like brew pub sized, but
Okay, cool.
But yeah,
more intimate.
Definitely. Okay, so I guess could you give an introduction kind of to our listeners, who you are, why you flew over, across the Atlantic to Philadelphia?
Yeah.
It's a fine week.
Okay, so who I am, my name's Tim. I go under the name of the Brand Weaver.
Yeah.
And so I'm brand strategist, designer, and marketeer for independent breweries across the globe.
Cool.
Alongside a bunch of other people who do. So there's a team of 4 of us now. And it is not only just the design side of things, but helping to tell the story and then keep it going. Why I flew all the way over here is I was kindly invited out to speak at CBC.
Awesome.
And so delivering a presentation tomorrow? Yep, Tuesday. That's it. About how to own your zip code in 3 hours a week.
At At CBC itself?
At CBC.
Oh, that'd be very cool.
Yeah, man. I'm excited and mildly terrified.
Have you given this presentation before?
No, this is like I figured it would give me the edge if I was like, this is the first time this has ever been presented.
Yeah.
But then they also sent the seating plan for the room that I'm talking in, and it is huge. And it's just like, oh, I've never spoken to this many people.
That's awesome.
But I mean, being optimistic, that many seats are in there, that's cool. Doesn't suggest everyone's actually going to sit in it, and it's fine.
Yeah.
That's really cool. You're going to bring a good energy to.
I hope so, man. Like, I've been accused of giving people presentation whiplash in the past, where it's just like, I can't, it's too much information. So 45 minutes to just cram as much into it as possible. Because I hate those presentations where people almost like they're quite preachy or they're trying to oversell services. It's just like, no, just give back. Like, value is the aim of it at the end of the day. It's what I do with the podcast. It's what I've done with the book. And it's what I intend to do.
People get like turned away when it's a hard sale.
Yeah, and even like the presentation process, you go through review phases with the team at the conference, and they kind of like trim it out or edit things that they don't feel is quite right. So they know that you're just getting like 100% steak, and it's just like juicy and
cool.
Yeah.
Is this your first CBC?
Yes, it is, my man. And figured, why not go in at the top and start talking there?
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Like working the floor.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how did you get into breweries, I guess? So you've always been on the branding side, right? You've always worked for branding agencies?
Yes. So I've been in branding and design for 24 years.
Like, did you start off as a kind of a graphic designer? Like, what was your first step?
Yeah, dude. So I, even before like Photoshop made it easy to cut out images off a white background, I was the guy with the pen tool, like slowly tracing around stuff to lift it. My job's a lot more glamorous now.
And now I'm like yelling at Canva because it's not using AI correctly.
Yeah, it's all that. I was the AI at that point, man. But so I worked my way up through agencies. I was creative director of various agencies, doing lots of different things. I started the Brand Weaver 3.5 years ago, give or take now, and started to do my own thing. And I worked with phenomenal businesses like brands like DC Comics, Disney,
cool.
CBC, loads of barbecue brands, a couple of breweries. And then, like I mentioned to a couple of people, like, I didn't necessarily choose Brewery Life. Brewery Life chose me in the way that my approach and what I was offering was a little bit different to people going out and it's like, I'm going to make you a nice can design or a nice lens or clip. It's like, my approach is more strategic. There's the foundations and then you build on top of that. And the rest is history. Yeah. Now working with breweries across the globe and having a blast doing it, man. Preaching a good word of brand.
Yeah. So you're saying it's like, it's not just the logo, the colors, but like the story, which is like kind of interesting. I imagine it's harder to do that working with somebody than just giving them like a product, but it probably makes their life easier because then they can just build all the deliverables off of that.
100%. And it was hard at the beginning, but we're starting to see more and more breweries shift into that mindset of going, actually having a good looking can or a lens or whatever it is isn't enough to get me recognized now. You've got phenomenal illustrators and artists working all over the place, doing great stuff.
Yeah.
But you need that foundation to build from. So that is truly what makes your brewery different. It's if you actually take the liquid out of the conversation for a minute, the story behind it, what goes into it, personal stories, how do you bring that to life? How do you appeal to a certain kind of drinker? Because again, you can't just go, we make beer for everyone.
Yeah.
Really don't make beer for everyone. Like a very small amount of people. And then what makes that different to your competition? And when you talk about competition, you're not even talking just about breweries anymore. You're talking, it's a competition for attention, right?
Yeah.
You're normally battling with the sofa much more than the brewery down the road.
Yeah.
So what can you do to pull people in, even away from that, that restaurant or that grill spot or that sports bar? It's not another brewery. So taking all of that and getting your messaging aligned creates this really solid foundation and actually saves time in the long run because you're not going, oh no, I don't know what I put on this can or this lens. I don't know what to post on social, or I don't know if that's the right choice for my brewery, because you already decided what the right stuff is for your brewery and you keep it like brand aligned, like purpose focused kind of thing.
I think that like for better or worse, I mean, it's for better, most breweries make great craft beer now. And most artwork for craft beer is good. So it's like kind of exactly what you're saying. Like what differentiates you is like your actual story.
Yeah. Good liquid is ticket to entry.
Yeah.
Right? It's
100%.
it's the function of your business.
Yeah.
Right. It is not it can't be everything. Like we've entered such in the UK and out here, we're in such a mature market these days where drinkers go, right, yeah, I like craft beer, I like indie beer, or I don't.
Yeah.
Then the beer is just separate to the conversation now. You need so much more to offer.
Yeah.
Which is a real challenge for a lot of brewers themselves to get their heads around when they're like, yeah, but I just like to brew cool beer, great beer that I like to drink with my mates. It's like, yeah, but that's not a business, right? That's a hobby. And if you want to have a hobby, that's cool. You can throw loads of money into it and it doesn't matter if it doesn't make any money and you throw it down the sink. But if you want to make money and if you've got like mouths to feed and you want to keep a roof over people's heads, you've got to have that business approach to it, which is where the branding, the marketing and all that stuff comes into it.
Cool. Where do you see the differences, or are there differences between like UK breweries, American craft breweries? Like, are there?
Yeah. Have you been to the States before? Is this your first?
Yeah, I've been to the States. Okay. I'm not just like Dorothy's just coming and does like mind blowing. It's okay. What are the big differences? Size is the really obvious one, to be fair. And I know I was talking about, you know, I walked into your tent, like it's massive. But what your breweries do so well is that kind of tribal vibe, like a sense of belonging. Like you guys go ham on merch, like just best merch and all of it, and everyone just wants to.
That's because everyone in the US dresses terrible, so we just like branded tees are like our form of dressing up.
Dude, it is walking billboards for everyone. So like, why would you bother just sticking your brewery logo on it? Like, do good stuff.
Yeah.
The UK market is a bit more behind in that sense. There are some phenomenal tap rooms, really beautiful ones in there as well. Some really like kind of terrible ones as well, but you know, you're going to have terrible tap rooms out here, I'd imagine, somewhere. You just don't tell anyone about it. But it's that sense of belonging, that tribal vibe that the UK is just getting on board with, I think, versus what you guys have got many years ahead of us on. And again, we've looked to you for a long time from keg inspiration. It's like, okay, so what's kicking off over your side? Maybe we should try a bit of that and see if it works as well. But I think now that's potentially evening out a bit as well, from what
you said this before, like keg versus cask. Like that's not how we talk, I think, because we just do so little cask brewing here. But it's funny how like you're differentiating that, like it's just two separate categories.
Yeah, it is. It's because you have cask breweries, you have keg breweries, and you have those cask breweries that have evolved into doing a bit of keg.
Yeah.
But there's still a distinct line between them.
That's very cool.
Because the consumer is really different.
Yeah.
Well, like we were saying, it's an older demographic who enjoys cask. It is happy birthday, granddad. You know, here's your cask beer.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Versus a younger demographic who wants the cold, wet, and fizzy. You know, not everyone likes twigs and berries in their beer. So fine, not cask is going to hit true with everyone.
But unlike, I mean, America's like just a new country. Like our historic beers are like steam beers or the American white lager. But you guys have like a much richer history of beer, and like cask beer, it has been there for so long. It's not what the country was built on, but and it certainly helped. That's for sure. Like, you know, we have the glorious British pub, the Public House, that is such an institution in the UK, and it feels so very different when you're in the UK and you try and go to a replica English pub or Irish bar, and you expect to see those classic hand pull cask vibes going on in there. It just completes the whole experience. Like, there's nothing more that I love. And like, take the dog out, cold, frosty day, walk across the fields. There's the pub in the distance. Into the pub, fires on, leather chair, cask beer, sorted. So I've heard you say another podcast that your grandparents owned a pub.
Yeah, so they worked behind the bar at basically a pub. So from a young age, like, I've always been beer adjacent, I suppose. I've worked behind bars when I was a younger guy going through uni or college. But that was just where I've really kind of got to see probably the more social aspect side of things. Like, I remember like just sitting on kegs and just smelling that kind of cask beer smell and the sticky floor. Obviously, hygiene wasn't as good as it is now. But even like, you know, stood in the bar and my grandma like dipping her darts in sherry before like throwing them at the dartboard and stuff. It's just such a cool, family culture vibe.
Yeah, that's fun. Awesome. So what, like, you have worked with some breweries in the UK. So Vale.
Yes,
Is it Vale?
yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about Vale, like kind of what you did with them, and I know you have the case study on your website, but
I do indeed. Yeah. So Vale was a traditional cask brewery.
Yeah.
Actually, they're one of those breweries who've now very recently gone into creating keg as well. But Vale was a small brewery in Buckinghamshire, leafy kind of, rolling green hills. The place that they're based is in a place called Brill, which inspired Hobbiton and kind of those wonderful areas. And Tolkien, the author of The Hobbit, spent a lot of time in Brill. So there's references to like different pubs that inspired the Prancing Pony and bits like that. So you can start to...
and Harmon just screams like, I want to drink a beer too.
Exactly, man. So it was an old brewery. I think what they're celebrating, like 20 years now or so. So old by a lot of breweries, sakes and stakes, going back hundreds of years. Ran by two brothers previously, but two other brothers came in, purchased it, knew that the liquid was good, but everything else around it was just a bit failing. Like they would describe the identity of it as that, when you're a kid and you make a treasure map and you stain it with like coffee granules or tea bags and you just try and make it look old and gnarly, but it just looks rubbish. That's kind of like what their identity was. And they didn't have any really good language to help it stand out. So we did the whole strategy piece. So we went in and was like, okay, well, why this brewery? Why this cask beer? For who? When? All that good stuff, which then went into the identity stuff again. And for cask breweries in the UK, you feel like it's traditional British. That's what it's meant to look like. You've got London Pride, you've got Tribute, you've got all these kind of brilliant historic breweries it's meant to look like it's come out of the Victorian.
Yeah.
Out of the Victorian times. But for these guys, it was different because we wanted to try and shake it up a little bit. You still wanted the older demographic to like it, but you needed to try something new. So we took inspiration from other places that made it more vibrant and engaging. And ultimately, what happened is we ran through the strategy, we redesigned the clips, the bottles, and the guys have just seen growth on growth on growth. And that's not just down to the strategy. They're hardworking guys and girls in the business, but it's helped them because they can go out there with like, this is who we are. This is the range. It looks professional. Like we even did like simple things like a sales deck, like each bottle, story behind the beer, what you can expect, not just like flavor profile and the hops and the malts that go into it, but like, what's the story? What's the experience it should accompany? And even from doing that, you have people who would go, yeah, we'll buy a cask. They're like, oh, actually we want like 4 because we want the set of them together.
Yeah.
And we do small little Easter eggs with them. Like when you see the clips lined up, because it's Vale, it's the countryside. In the artwork, if you have any of the clips that sit side by side, the countryside will naturally flow.
Oh, that's very
from
cool.
one lens to another. It doesn't matter what order.
And when you're in the beer store, and it's like you have like them all together.
Exactly. Yep. So you want to look at, their bottles and stuff, and it's just this
That's cool.
never-ending story that continues to grow to this day.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so now they've moved into keg. They've released a sub-brand as well, which is more kind of, I suppose, experimental cask. So they're doing smoked beers, double dry hopped, but more stuff that you'd expect in keg format than cask a lot of the time. And that's a pretty cool, exciting adventure as well.
It's almost like what you're doing is like you're just kind of like a psychiatrist for the brand, like figuring out, they need to figure out who they are.
Yes. Lie back on the couch and tell me your beer best.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is because
Like they don't even know their own identity, and you're like walking them through and helping them find their identity. Be like, hey, this is who you are, and this is how you need to present yourself.
one of my favorite phrases is it's hard to read the label when you're stuck inside the jar.
Yeah.
And every brewer, everyone who works in the brewery is so like locked in that sometimes they can't see all the awesome stuff because they're just like too closely involved with it.
Yeah.
And the other side is maybe they know what they want and what they believe they need, but they're not listening to their drinker. They're not really listening to their consumer, their market, which is so important to align with what the drinker's expectations are. Otherwise, you're just going to be like at loggerheads for all of it.
Yeah. What are some of the current like big trends going on in the UK beer space right now?
I mean,
like right now, from like at least here in the US, it seems like everything's moving to low ABV.
Mm-hmm. Light beer lagers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the low no thing is, it's there now. Like, I wouldn't call it a trend by any means. It's kind of been adopted by those people who want to adopt it, or people will be zebra striping, or some people will just go on the low nose sesh. But now, like last summer, we saw this massive boom in fruited beers.
Okay.
Yeah. And, we're in the UK. So when the sun is out, we want to embrace that wholeheartily and be like, yeah, we want like a Radler, or we want something with a bit of peach or something.
Yeah.
So there was a big trend that we saw last summer. So I anticipate seeing that kicking off in a couple of months. And I'm talking to a load of breweries and they've got it on the schedule to come in. So that's the thing. Functional beer, like there's a little bit of it being talked about in the UK, but I can see it on the horizon as something that's going to be bigger. Of course, we can't use the cannabis side of things in the UK or anything, but through the right yeasts and bits, you can still get a functional beer. And I think that experiential side of things has been unlocked probably from the low nose side of things, but will be adopted by your full fat beer. Those beers that can help you focus in, ironically, or chill out, or even up the game. I think there's going to see something like that rolling on, maybe not this year, but next year.
Yeah, it's almost like because the NA beers and the cannabis beers came out, it was like people were like, oh, there's another way we can frame this. What kind of
and
it doesn't have.
It comes down to that. It's branding and marketing again. It's experiential. You don't just go, this is the beer. This is the beer for that point, for that person at this time. And you're just dialing in and you're appealing to that person, and that person goes, that's me. Yeah, I exactly need one of those for right now because that's how I feel, or that's how I want to feel. Yeah. Perfect marketing and branding.
Are you helping these brands like with social media and everything as well?
Yeah, so through the team, we do. Yeah. So once you get the strategy locked in and the identity, the next logical step, of course, is you've got to keep it going, right? You've got to stay top of mind for all your drinkers and consumers out there. So supporting on, be it the strategy behind it, what they should be talking about and posting about, to actually helping with delivering some of the creative behind it as well.
Are they doing as much promotion as you are? Like, we have known who you are for like 2 years at this point.
Yeah.
But because you've done a great job of like getting your face out there, and I love the fact that like you're in front of your brand, obviously, and you're on there talking about it every day. But is that something that you're kind of like pushing for them to put themselves in front of the brand, or kind of depends on the person?
It depends on the goal of the brewery.
Yeah.
Right. Social media can be a tool used in many different ways.
Yeah.
For a lot of these brews, they're not looking for national growth. They might like the idea of going viral, but it's not going to help their brand.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, look at all these people really liking our beer picture from over there, and they can't even get our hands on it.
Yeah.
Like, it's pointless. So it's a great tool. And for the right brewery, trying to talk to them about the benefit and strength of personal brand is great. But the reason I do it is I have to practice what I preach, right?
Yeah.
And there's been so many upsides to creating the brand weaver. It's not a character, it is me.
Yeah.
But, I take the hat off and then all of a sudden I'm still dad at home. It's fine. But it's for the right brewery and what they want to achieve ultimately.
How have you seen, is most of your business coming from the social media? We talked a little bit before about the LinkedIn, but is you specifically have done a great job of like marketing on LinkedIn.
Fantastic job.
I'll stop it.
And I think
good job, man.
And I think LinkedIn is like a I don't know what they call it, blue sky, green sky, something, where it's like not many people like advertise the way that you are on LinkedIn, where you're like you're very outward. Like, people are just so professional, and I so much like they put it.
That's like a backhanded compliment for me, right? So people are so professional, but not you, Tim.
But you know what I'm talking, like uptight professional.
Yeah, dude.
Where it's like it seems robotic. Where like you're able to like speak openly on LinkedIn, and like kind of like get yourself out there.
It's a really interesting platform because it's like so different to Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever you want, because it's still called the professionals platform. But the definition of what a professional this day is like, whoo, it's broad, man. But there's something mad like in the stats that if you post once a week on LinkedIn, you're on like in the top 2% of all active users and like of the platform.
Yeah.
So it's such a quick win for people if done right. And the reason I use it is for thought leadership, right?
Yeah.
It's so different to Instagram, where I'm just like, check out this can. This is a cool little detail on this can. Or, hey, a brewery sent me some beer. Let me like work out which bits of the branding I really like and what other breweries can do with it. On LinkedIn, it's kind of like, this report came out, or, this release is here, or this is a really interesting activation. Let's talk about it. Let's unpack it. And then it gets supported with the podcast and things. But to go back to your question, like, does most of my work come from social media? not the strategy stuff, not the design stuff. That is like it's so hard to track where all of that comes from because you do so much, but it is just being top of mind.
Yeah.
Like the public speaking gigs, the opportunity to sell the book, all the personal brand stuff. Yeah, that's definitely social media.
Were you doing any of that before you started the Brand Weaver?
No, not really. Like I would just use Instagram as like a beer and that's it. But you kind of realize that the purpose of social media is not the social aspect anymore.
Yeah.
Also, you have like a lot of energy. Like you are able to like market yourself. Like some people aren't able to do that. Like you are able to. So like, why not?
Yeah, and
take advantage of that.
Like I'm a sucker for structure. So it's just like, right, I have to post every day. So it's in the calendar. 30 minutes, what's it going to be? And that goes up. And it just gets really easy over time. And
it's like a muscle. Like it is. Like it's really hard. People that don't post a lot, they get like all worked up. They're like,
oh, what am I going to post?
Yeah.
Breweries, again, it's like, I will be talking tomorrow about like, okay, if you're going to do social media for your brewery, you can have 1 hour a week. And they're like, how am I meant to do social media in an hour? It's like, you're not trying to be Spielberg. Like, you don't need this insane reel because you're not chasing virality. You're chasing like people being aware of you locally. You can easily do it in an hour. I do my Instagram in like 15 minutes a day, maybe 5 minutes when the time comes. It's absolutely fine. But the idea of going, that foundation, we talked about the strategy, knowing who you are, what you want to talk about, who you're going to talk to about it, and the problems. If you've got that locked in, everything just comes off the dome so much quicker because I know breweries. I know the independent brewery problems. So chiming in. So if you can speak to the problems, then it becomes so much easier.
Yeah.
And again, with something like LinkedIn, the platform is different in the way that with a connection, it's still a two-way connection. You're not following someone, you're connecting with someone. So they've actually chosen to go, yes, you may see what I'm posting and I will see what you're posting. It's one of the very few platforms that still offers that kind of two-way recognition.
There's this really cheesy thing I've done where on Facebook's the same way. You have to be friends with people. You can follow personal brands, but I'm just friending every single person that I can until it tells me not to. And I've gotten like 800 new friends. That's like a month and a half. And then every couple of weeks, I'll just like invite them to follow Space Cadet. And is it like you were saying? It's like Facebook's kind of the same way, where it's like it's more of like a connection thing.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of brands, especially in the US, I don't know how it is in the UK, but people aren't promoting on Facebook either. They're only promoting on Instagram. But I think it's easy enough to kind of translate them to both.
Well, yeah, of course, the Meta Suite will allow you to push to both. Yeah. And the thing that we see, again, we'll come back to that cask keg divide in the UK. Cask consumer, older consumer, Facebook generation.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah. Keg drinker, Instagram, or potentially TikTok, depending on what kind of keg brand it is.
Yeah.
So actually, you see far more engagement on Facebook from an older demographic for the cask consumer. And they don't really step into Instagram. They definitely don't stick into like TikTok territory.
Yeah.
I don't need
that. Going off that, what's like Gen Z drinking trends like in the UK? Are they drinking? Because like in the US, the numbers say they're drinking less. People say they're drinking less, but I think it's starting to come back. Like I mean, I live in Fishtown. I go out every weekend. There's like thousands of people drinking to the point that they're throwing up. And it's like they're saying people aren't drinking. There's a lot of people still drinking.
They're just drinking differently. They're not drinking maybe as much beer. They're certainly drinking. Beer's still part of that, though, without a doubt.
Yeah. Since coming off the back of COVID, there has been a shift in probably the psychology of a younger drinker. But the patterns and what they do from what you can see, and if you look at the data and look at just general trends, right? So you've got, off the back of COVID, kids grew up over COVID and hit drinking age, and they were kind of like mollycoddled over COVID, couldn't go out. And so they're a little bit concerned about binge drinking and what that might mean. And of course, you're now being monitored left, right, and center from social. But also you have this growing up, where they're not trying to find the cheapest beer anymore. There's like a aspirational, like I like the European lager stuff. So I'll pay a little bit more, but maybe drink a little bit less because everyone's strapped for cash. They don't have as much to go around. So now certain drinkers will go, I want to spend it on the right thing versus like, what can I spend like £2.50 or £3 in the UK and get like a really dirty pint?
Got it. That's cool.
So I'm curious. Yeah. Have you been to Philly before?
No, this is the first time in Philly, man.
What, like from an out of country perspective, is like, what is Philly like thought of almost? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh man, I think I have such a narrow view of it, like distorted by the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and the intro soundtrack. Like, but it's that and cheesesteaks.
But that's what I want to. That's what I want to hear. I'm so curious. It's like,
Yeah.
what is that projected from like outside of here almost?
But the thing is with the state, I can only talk from my own perspective, so I'm not touring the whole of the UK. But it's kind of, the US is so big and you have so much of it and so many different pockets of culture and whatever goes on. Like, at least with the UK, you have to maybe remember like 4 different places, which is like the UK, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. And like, they're kind of, that's England,
Pretty
right?
similar within each,
No, they have their cultural differences, I suppose.
but not as distinct as the U.S. cities.
Yeah, and again, but we're dictated to by television and films that we watch. So we're just like supplied stereotypes a lot of the time, kind of go, I guess it's like that until we come out there and experience it. And so far I'm running on like less than 24 hours worth of experience of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So
I'll check Fresh Prince. People say Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but then they also say Rocky. So it's like,
Of course, man.
TV and movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always Sunny too.
Yes. Oh, of course. Yeah. See, there's those references, but it's just, horses for courses. It depends on what age you are, what you were watching at the time, I suppose, as well.
Yeah. So we only have a little bit more time left, but can we talk about your book for a little bit?
For sure, my man.
So this just came out last year, right?
Yeah, December last year. Beautiful Christmas present.
And this is your first book, right?
Yeah. I never thought I'd write a book. So it just went off the back of what I do as the mission, right? To try and help as many breweries as possible, which is why I do the social media, why I put all the content out there, why I do these talks, why I do the podcast. And I was like, the book is kind of a logical thing. And if I apply myself, can I do it? And it's a bit of a personal challenge. I was like, okay, yeah. Managed to do it in the year. Like January, I started to plan the structure and what it was. And by December, it was out. But it's not like the
full year, like you got a book from like start to finish. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. But it's, again, like I say, lock in calendar stuff. I was giving myself 30 minutes, 45 minutes every day, just go bam, 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 knock it through. But it's not like this is my autobiography. This is how I came to this. This is my brand strategy process, right? It's a workbook. It is a tool. It has space to write in it. It's, flexible. It doesn't have a hardback, so you can roll it up and put it in your back pocket when you're in the brew house. And it is written in a way that I do all my social posts. So how I talk is just like punchy, try and keep the waffle and the fluff out of it. So people can smash through a chapter in like 5-10 minutes and go, oh, cool, I'm going to give that a go. Mm-hmm. There's like, how to define your perfect drinker. What are the questions that you...
And less of a novel, more of like a guidebook.
Oh, dude, it's 100% a guidebook. If it was a novel, it's a really boring one. Don't buy it. But the thing is, well, like I put it on for as cheap as I could, through Amazon, so more people can get it.
Yeah.
It means I don't have to hold on to loads of boxes of books at my house as well. But it's just like, right, how cheap can I make this? And it's kind of like the price of a more expensive keg can at the end of the day. But you see help guides on that for like $30, $35, $40. You're like, why?
Yeah.
Dude, information is free.
Yeah.
Like you can get it wherever. So I'm like, right, let's just make it as accessible as possible. And I had someone leave like a 1-star review going, there's loads of space in it. I was like, yeah, because it's for writing in. And they're like, we can get this information in other places. It's like, yeah, if you spend like 4 weeks searching for the right thing at the right place, it's like, I'm not reinventing the wheel.
Yeah, every biography has a list of references and you can get any information for any book anywhere.
It's just like, no, I'm just trying to put it all in one place. This is my process, right?
Yeah.
So if you start at the beginning and go through to the end, your brewery branding will be in a better place than it was when you began.
It's cool.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think back in the day, everyone used to kind of write books for craft beer. Mm-hmm. People have not done it in a long time, and I'm very happy that you wrote a book because, like, I'm a big book person, and I think it's it helps build like your personal brand for the brand weaver.
Yeah.
But also it's part of like the craft beers. Like craft beer is so much about the storytelling. And I think just writing a book is obviously part of the storytelling.
Literally.
Yeah. But I think it kind of like builds in with everything. And I think it's awesome.
Yeah. It's been really successful. Like in my mind, I didn't think the number of units that has sold since December would sell. And the fact that it's gone all over the globe
Yeah.
People obviously out here, we got Canada, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, a lot in the UK
Yeah.
actually, but I'm just like, wow, people actually care about this stuff.
And a book is so much different than like a social media post. Like the tail on that, like the book will live on for decades and decades of like just this continued, people following you or people getting value out of it,
Exactly, man. It's the tool, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. I think that might be it.
I think that cuts it for episode 1.
Cool.
Whee! Yeah, nailed it.
Well, welcome to Philadelphia.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome to CBC. Good luck on your talk. Do you have anything else that you want to kind of push out? Like, where can we find you on social media or anything else?
Everywhere. Okay, so the big list. Yeah, so you can check out my podcast, Branding for Breweries, which is where I invite only the most handsome of people onto the show, Evan, you being one of them, of course. But it's we talk about branding, marketing, and sales in the brewery space. So we're not talking about head retention or hot blends or whatever it is. It's like, how would you tell your story and how some of the big dogs done it so very well.
Cool.
So that's Branding for Breweries. Of course, the book, Branding for Breweries, that's available on Amazon across the globe. You'll find me on Instagram under Branding for Breweries. You'll find me on LinkedIn under my name, Tim Weaver. I've got the email newsletter. If you go to thebrandweaver.co.uk, you can sign up for the newsletter and stuff there. Just type in Tim Weaver on any search engine and you'll see my big bearded face pop up. It's fine. And I'm sure I'll be linked in the show notes below as well. Yes, you were right.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. And you can follow us at BrewedAt, at the BrewedAt podcast. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you. Sweet.